At the edge of the Abu ad-Duhur Air Force Base, fighters gather for evening prayers. They are interrupted. A mortar round lands just behind their building. The men are calm. They collect their weapons, finish prayer, and begin to fan out toward other buildings. This is C.J. Chivers reporting for the New York Times in Syria. These are rebels in Idlib Governorate. They are associated with the Free Syrian Army, which seeks the overthrow of President Bashar al-Assad. A year and a half since their uprising began, close calls like these are the battlefield's routine. The arc of conflict in the countryside here presents a chronicle of the battle for Syria. As violence escalated last year, the rebels took up arms. Now an area roughly twice the size of Rhode Island is under their loose control. Their position is not strong. They remain under-equipped and outgunned. Shelling from army outposts kills civilians and forces families to flee. Fighters root out suspected informants, even as they fend off threats from the air and the ground by any means.
عبارة عن جرة غاز منزلية نستخدمها لتفجير الدبابات. منشيل محل الساعة. هدول بعد ما نعبيه السمان. تي 72 قادر على شيل أنا.
هاي درة. كمان غني من حاجز الجيش.
Abu Azab is the commander of the Voices of the Right Brigade. With little outside support, the fighters' arsenals are often small, made up mostly from weapons taken from defeated government soldiers. The revolutionaries in Idlib are defected soldiers and local men, school teachers and construction laborers, beside doctors and a pharmacist. In some areas, food supplies are lean. Water comes only from wells. Much is unpredictable. In many places, the two sides move on the same roads. Driving to a nearby town, a rebel column abruptly halts. At the intersection just ahead, a group of Shabiha, from a militia loyal to the government, passes by. If the rebels are spotted, a fight could erupt. They go unseen. The potential for violence awaits around every corner, whether from the ground or from the air. Since the start of the summer, government helicopters and jets have chased the rebels in the countryside, targeting villages and neighborhoods that support the uprising. The rebels have fought back. Equipped with captured arms, they positioned themselves this summer at the edge of the Abu ad-Duhur air base, trying to shoot down the warplanes when they take off or land. They're hunting the aircraft that hunt them, grounding planes that otherwise could attack their homes or be used in other battles, as in Aleppo. Jamal Maroof, a 37-year-old contractor, and his fighters are famous throughout Idlib for shooting down Syrian MiGs. Under Mr. Maroof's command, the rebels have turned this airfield into a besieged outpost from which airplanes no longer fly. In a town near his mountain home, Abu Azab walks through a cemetery filled with freshly dug graves.
هون بتجهز القبر قبل ما نموت. نحن عم نحفر قبورتنا في ايدنا، يعني عرفانين ما راح يضل ولا واحد منا نحن.
Later he will return to the airfield, where he will face more violence. He knows the cost. Many more Syrians will die before the last fight ends. His own nephew is buried here.
لك بس بهذا الخندق هون بنرجع بنحفر غيره بنجهزه لا يعبوا هيك بالتسلسل لما يضل ولا واحد منا. المهم ما نركع وما نستسلم.